today I'm joined with Mike Arnot, Principal at Juliett Alpha. Thank you for making the time to speak with me today, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, Jessica. Happy to join.
Great. So would you mind giving a bit of information into your background and experience in the industry just before we begin?
Yeah, sounds good. So I used to write about airlines and airplanes for publications like the New York Times and CNN and Afar and the like. And prior to the pandemic, I changed lanes and decided to start a media relations agency that represents all sorts of firms only in airlines and aviation, like the Star Alliance, Cirium, which is the data company, some low-cost carriers, all across the ecosystem.
Wonderful. So just to begin, there's been a lot of talk around the Asia Pacific region lately. Can you tell me why you think it's such an exciting region for aviation at the moment?
For sure. I think prior to the pandemic, it was leading the growth in the both airline and aerospace sector. Huge orders for Boeing and Airbus airplanes, really innovative marketing and digital practices by some of the airlines in the region. And I think people that are not from the region in the aerospace and airline industry sort of look at it as one single region, but what's going on in Australia is very different than what's going on in China or in the Philippines, for example. So it's fascinating to me. I can't wait to join everyone in Singapore.
It's great, absolutely. And I think hopefully that'll be one of the big things that comes from the event is just showing the diversity and the sort of the difference between different areas, as you said.
Right.
What do you see as some of the key trends that our audience can expect to hear a lot about at this year's event?
Well, we know that there's going to be recovery at different paces across the countries in the industry. So I'm curious to speak with people from the Middle East, from Australia, from the other countries in APAC to see how they feel like things are going. So that'll be quite fascinating for me. I know that many of the airlines in APAC are on the leading edge of digital marketing, digital communication with their customers. And so I'm curious to see where they are innovating. So, for example, some of the low cost carriers in APAC are just doing some really cool things that I think the audience in the United States or Canada or Europe would be fascinated to hear about. So that's what I'm really eager to dig into.
Wonderful. So when it comes to the event, you're going to be moderating and interviewing a few different sessions for us. Would you be able to give our audience some insight into what to expect from this? So, beginning, there's the CMO panel, you're also doing a CEO interview with major airlines, and then you're doing another panel to do with digital marketing tactics and iconic branding. So if you could just give us a little bit of insight into that.
Well, for sure. So, with the CMO panels, I think what I have done at the World Aviation Forum and at the Forum in Americas is to really push the CMOs to get one level deeper than the typical answer that they might give. I don't want to have marketing 101, and nor does the audience at the festival. So let's really get one step lower in terms of detail on what they and their airlines are doing to make a better brand or digital experience for their passengers. So I've interviewed Kenny Chang, the CMO of Korean, before, so it'll be good to see him again. I'm flying on his airline to Singapore, so we'll exchange notes about that too. As well, I think I'm interviewing the CEO of Malaysian, so I'll be very eager to see, to talk to him about the challenges that they've faced and where his airline is innovating in 2023. And then also an interview with Khaled from Saudia. And so that's a different part of the world than I'm normally used to engaging with on the concept of digital marketing and branding. So it'll be a fascinating discussion, I think.
That's great. Sounds like there's a whole load to look forward to. And with you digging beneath the surface a little bit as well.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be interesting. I hope the audience finds it interesting. I've attended many, conferences and panels, and they can be, not particularly exciting. So we are talking to marketers. Marketers have to sell the dream. So I want to hear how they're selling the dream.
Fantastic. Sounds like we're speaking with a seasoned expert as well.
Yeah, I know a little bit.
Wonderful. So there are going to be several big tracks running at the event alongside payments and airport tech, some other ones as well. What are you looking forward to at the festival aside from your own tracks?
Well, because I work in media relations, I work with Danny Lee from Bloomberg and Brian Summers, who just launched his own email newsletter about the airline industry. So I'm eager to see them and talk to them, but also to hear their particular panels. They're doing some one-on-one interviews with the leading lights in the airline industry in APAC. So that's going to be great. I'm also curious about the developments on biometrics. So I saw that there are some panels related to biometrics. And as always, as someone who's a points and miles aficionado, but I don't consider myself a guru, I'm really interested in the loyalty panel. I, tend to accumulate points, but I don't know how to deploy them. And so the panel that's handling loyalty will be one to talk to for sure, or one to watch.
Wonderful. So just taking a step back now, how do you think this event contributes to the industry ecosystem as a whole?
I first started getting involved with the World Aviation Festival, the Aviation Festival Americas, and now for the first time, Aviation Festival in Asia. Um, you can go to other events that are out there in the ecosystem, but this one for me has sort of the most interesting panelists, the most interesting discussions, and top-notch interviewers. So I think it's one that everyone should attend who cares about airlines and aerospace and wants to learn more.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to meet everyone in Singapore.
Absolutely. We'll see you there.
Sounds good.